I'm going to show you the exact configuration that you need in PlusVibe to maximize the results that you can get with cold emails. And if you have never heard of PlusVibe, it's a tool that a lot of cold emailers are switching from their original tools like Instantly or Smartlead. This new platform has a lot of features to offer that will make your life easier and will also land you more results in 2026. So make sure to see all the strategies that you can apply with this step-by-step configuration. You will see that PlusVibe has a very simple interface, the same as Instantly. So if you have used other tools in the past, you will see that it's super easy to set up. But let's go step by step. And first of all, we have the icon email accounts. So the first thing that we need to do is connect our inboxes. So if you go to the top right, you will see that you have the option to add several inboxes providers. The first one would be Google, Microsoft, or other providers, which would be SMTP inboxes. We also have the option to add a done for you email setup, right? So what this does is if you don't have the inboxes in another provider like Skeleton Mail, Zapmail, or whatever you're using, you can buy them directly through here. So you just cost $4 per month for each Google inbox, and you also have the option to buy Microsoft Azure infrastructure, which is for the enterprise deliverability. And this costs $49 per month. And it's useful because you can also see the sending capacity that each offer has to offer. And you also see that it's the whole configuration, DNS, best practices, all set up for you. So if you are starting on cold email, this is a great option. But a lot of the providers also offer this, so make sure to see which is the option that fits you better. Anyway, if you already have your own inboxes, you will see that there's also a few options. If you want to go one by one, which I don't really recommend, but you have the option to click here, go to Google Workspace, and you will have the step-by-step instruction on how to connect it. I don't recommend it, and I will not walk through this because it's time. You will waste a lot of time if you connect your inboxes like this. What I recommend is that you go with a provider that specializes in inboxes because nowadays it's super important to have a very good infrastructure. So, for example, you can use Skeleton Mail, you can use the done for you email setup of PlusVibe integrated, or you can even see if the accounts that you have with Google, Microsoft, or whatever have a list to bulk upload. What this means is that instead of going one by one, as you will be connecting a lot of inboxes, you can bulk upload. So you can click in this last option, click continue, and you can put a CSV file. And if you don't know how this looks like, there's a sample that you can that download, so you can see exactly how it looks. But it's mainly a few columns that have like the SMTP username, the name of the inbox, the password, so they connect all of them in just one submission. So if you need help with that, just enter in the community that we have down below for free, and I will walk you through the exact steps. But it's very simple, and as you see, there's dozens of tutorials inside the app. Once you have the inboxes connected, you will see that they look like this. So you will have the inboxes connected and active. I also put a few inboxes incorrectly, so you can see how it looks like. So you can see I connected a total of 500 accounts. So imagine if I did this manually, I would probably die. And I did place 100 accounts that are not with the right configuration. So I will show you how it looks like. This is the final result. This is what you should have and what you should see when you're finished. So you can click on each inbox individually and you can set all the configurations for an analytics for each inbox. This is useful because when you are scaling, you can know which domains or inboxes are having breaks or they have spam issues. So easy to spot and you don't miss any time. In terms of settings, you will see it's the same as all the softwares. You can place the sender name, so you can put the name of the inboxes. If you want this to address in a specific address, you can too, but I recommend leaving this blank. And depending on the type of inboxes that you have, you can place different settings here. If you have Microsoft settings, you can copy the ones I have, as these inboxes are Microsoft Azure. But if you have Google, this is slightly different. So remember, for example, for Microsoft Azure, I will be only sending 5 mails up to 10 mails a day, cold mails. And I have a minimum interval in minutes of 63 minutes, which can be slightly lower, but it's just to simulate that you are a human and that you are not sending mass spams. You also have the option to ramp up, which means that the campaigns will not start sending 5 emails the first day. They will send only one cold email the first one. The second day, they will send two, and progressively. You can also place email signatures, and you can also apply them to all the email accounts in the same domain. But again, I don't recommend that you place an email signature, the typical one, like with your photo and all the links of your LinkedIn profile, your website, because you should avoid placing links in cold emails. This is one of the basics, and you can check videos on my profile talking about this, but a good signature should be close to this. Just your name. If you want to put your domain, you can also do this, which don't trigger a link, but if someone wants to check you, they will be able to do it. This is my name, this is the company website, and you can even add your LinkedIn, placing something like LinkedIn, and placing something like this and this. So they can also find you through LinkedIn. This is useful because before meeting or replying, some people still check you on Google. And if you don't have articles or SEO posts talking about you, your company, whatever, your LinkedIn will always show up. So it's very useful. You can place this type of signature, but never links. And you will see there's also a few other options that I recommend that you just leave it if you are not doing this in a super massive way. The same with warm up. The configuration, it's very similar, but what I like about PlusVibe is that they have a very good pool. To clarify, if you don't know what a warm up pool is, it's basically that when you put new inboxes in place, you need to always make sure that there's a 14 days to 21 days warm up period. During these days, you can send cold emails as you will land in spam and you will face problems. So what this does, it's connect your inboxes to other inboxes that they will interact with each other to make sure that Google and Microsoft and other providers think, oh, yeah, these inboxes are legit and they are not spamming. So always turn on the warm up, never turn this off. And the good thing about PlusVibe is that you can also put the tags that you want, the daily warm up limit you want, the warm up email ramp up that you want, but you can also randomize how many emails each day go out. So instead of sending always 7 emails, you can put 7 emails today, tomorrow 12 emails, the next day 5, etc., etc. And you can put the range variation here. And you can also put the business type that you are in, so the emails of the warm up are close or at least similar to the offer that you will be sending later in the cold emails. And this is a game changer because imagine that Google just see that you are sending warm up emails to a random healthcare company, like healthcare messages, and after that you go and sell to real estate companies. It doesn't make sense. And trust me that the algorithms of the providers are getting smarter. So every single thing that you can do to be slightly better than the others, it's perfect. You also have a schedule if you want to send only on the weekdays and other configurations that are not super relevant. So this would be the whole inbox situation with PlusVibe. As you can see, it's very simple. And you can also select all the accounts that you want. For example, select all, and you have the bulk actions. So here you can select and check everything for all the inboxes instead of going one by one. So in bulk actions, you can click edit settings and the same page that we were before turns on, and you can mass edit this for everyone. You can also enable the warm up for all of them in one click, disable the warm up the same. Async tags if you have different campaigns and you want to test different deliverability setups. If you have different workspaces, you can also move them. And in the case that you have issues, so I'm going to show you how it looks, you can check the DNS and also other issues that they are related to connection. Even you can export them as a CCUV, so you can switch them to another platform or whatever you need. So as you can see, this is a corrected connected inbox. You see it's active, it's warming up correctly, the health is 100%, and you have all the DNS configurations on green. So you also have the warm up run, right? So the good aspect of this is that you can quickly check if they are correct. right? And if you go to alert, you will see that I have 100 inboxes that are not set up. So you see that they have the alert notification. They are not able to warm up till you put the correct configuration, because if you warm up with not the right DNS settings, the inboxes and the domain will be flagged and turn it into a blacklist directly. And you can see that they don't have DMARC or MX DNS. If you need clarification on what these DNS are, or you don't know or never heard about this, join the community and I will explain it to you. But usually providers do this for you, so you don't need to be learning all of this stuff. In 2020, you needed to know all of this, but nowadays it's way easier. So in these accounts, you need to check all of this with your provider or yourself in your in your domain configuration, so you can learn it. And that's all for the email accounts part. Very simple overview. You have a lot of options, but simplified so there's no problems. The next, it's the prospects list and enrichment. And trust me, this is a very good part to explore how does it look to create a list. Because you have the option to create a blank list, which is what I'm going to do, or you can also import a CCUF. So if you have a lead scraper that it's getting data to you from ZoomInfo, Apollo, Google Maps scraping, or other sources, you can just click here and drop it. Super simple. There's no mistake to do. And here you can create a blank list, and you will see that there's several options that are similar to Clay, and that other tools like SmartLead may not be as easy as this. You can place all the data that you need. Of course, you can have the emails, the first name, last name, address, blah, 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 all the configurations, all the data that you may need. But you also have the option to enrich. So what this does is you have the option to find business emails verified, so you know 100% that they will not bounce. And remember, bounce is that the address didn't exist or that there was a mistake, and this hurts your reputation of the inboxes. We don't want this. So you can find the business emails for all the lists that all the contacts that you place here, and you can also verify the emails in case that you already got the emails, but you want to make sure that they are truthful and that you can send them safely. This is super useful, and as you can see, you have credits like in Clay or other options. I recommend that you test this with a few dozens of leads before jumping into the hundreds or thousands. But it's very simple, and as you can see, you can just place all the data here and enrich it. And as you can see, there's also a button that it's Add Enrichment, which enables you to do mainly what Clay enables at a fraction of the price. So apart from finding the mails and verifying them, you can use AI. And this only costs less than one token. And what you can do is run prompts for each customer. So you can put a general prompt saying, I ran a consultation offer for real estate companies. Make sure that they are my ICP and they are not SaaS. So this is super useful because you can be super creative and you can run customized first lines without needing to pay for external softwares. And you can also see that you can use your own API, OpenAI like ChatGPT API-K, or you can also use PlusVibe, which costs credits. But you can also check the creative temperature. So depending on what you put here, you will see that it will go more creative aspect, or it can be limiting. So you can use this for two things. The first one, personalization. You can put here, instead of this, find information on their website and create a phrase of 10 words where you say you saw X feature of their product. What this does, it scrapes the company, they check the internet as an AI, as you would do with ChatGPT, but they do it for all the customers that you place this prompt in your data. So you can create very, very customized first lines. And as I said, you can be super creative. This is the first option. And the previous one, what it does, it's clean more the data. You can say, put no if they are not qualified, or put yes if they are qualified, right? And what this does, it's the prompt will give you a yes or no based on if they are real estate companies or if they are SaaS or other companies that may not fit your ICP. And of course, this is a simple prompt that will not give you good results. But if you spend time and you customize this a lot for your offer and you give them the understanding necessary to create this correctly, you can do great things. You also have templates, which you can check, and it will enable you to do crazy things on here, as it would with Clay, right? Apart from this, there's also other enrichments that I will not walk through individually, but you can scrape the information from their LinkedIn, so you can talk about a specific post. You can also scrape their website directly or other options that you can see for yourself. So this is the lead data part, which I find interesting because you don't need to spend money on a custom software, right? And the next icon, it's the campaigns part. So I'm going to create with you a test campaign, and you will see that it's similar to other campaigns platforms that you have probably used, like Instantly. First of all, you will see simple interface, and you will be able to personalize everything as you would with other platforms. So what I'm going to do, you can see that you can edit the campaign and you can place the leads. So either you import the leads here, right, dropping a CCUF, or you can import them from the previous aspect that I showed, like the lead aspect, and you can show it from the lead list that you created before. You can also do it from your CRM. Of course, all of these other options, the integrations are super easy to do, and you will be able to do it perfectly fine. The important part is the sequences, right? So you can see that you can add steps. So this means that this will be the first email that a prospect receive, but after 3 days, if they don't reply, they will get the step 2. The step 2 is a follow-up of the previous email, or it can be a brand new one. And you can create as much follow-ups as you want, but remember that I recommend that you don't send more than 3, otherwise it can hurt your reputation. So as you can see, there's the option to run A/B testing. So you can include as many variants as you want. So in the first one, you can say, hi, first name. In the second one, you can say, hey. And this other one, you can say, yo, first name. So you are more formal. So you can test exactly what gives you more results. And I recommend that if you send a lot of volume, you test every single part of your cold emails. The subject line can be A/B tested. The copy can be A/B tested, and you can do this on dozens of variants. So you see the best working one for you. Apart from that, as you would do with any email writer, you have to put bold, to put italic, to put all the configurations. You can also add links or images, but you shouldn't do it. The same with emojis. These trigger an HTML code that what it does is tell Google and Microsoft, these people is doing email marketing. You don't want this to land in the main folder. So please avoid using that. And you also see that it's super important that you have an overall score on your emails. So if I go here, I will write an example now and you will see it. If I start to write an email, and of course you have semi-personalizations, I forgot about that. You can, instead of saying, hi, John, if you want to do this in a massive way, which is the main idea, you have this option to insert variables. So it triggers the data that we had from before, from the list, and you can place everything from here. So you have the typical ones, first name, last name, address, city, even the phone number, job titles, all this information. And you can even see that if you create new columns, you can put personalization or AI mention or website mention. The previous prompts that you did, you can have them here. And if you put them, imagine that this is a new prompt. Hi, John. Sorry. You can put, hi, John. This is a very bad cold email, by the way. Don't take. We will do a super in-depth video showing the copy that you should write. But for this quick example, this is on Rafols. I saw, and here you can put a personalization that I don't have now, but it can be this. I saw LinkedIn company your profile, so I saw your LinkedIn, and I noticed X personalization, right? And here you explain your offer. Right? And here the call to action, and here the signature. So this is a simple cold email. I don't recommend that you send this. Like, for example, I would remove this, and the first liners are super difficult to crack. fake personalization doesn't work nowadays, but you can see that you can pretty much do whatever you need in a massive way with personalization. And as I said, you can A/B test all of this. So you can also see that here you will get an overall score. And of course, you don't need to trust this 100% because here I didn't even write the mail, but it gives you the details on why it says, okay, this is excellent or this can be improved, right? So you see the details and you see the word count, the spam words, the question count, etc. This is important because if I start to add emojis, I will show it now, or links, this will increase and the overall score will decrease. So for example, let's add a few emojis here, and I will add a google.com link here. And now you will see, let me see if I can add a link here, sorry. Okay, so I have a few links, a few emojis, and you can see the details again, and you see that you have all of these links counted, and it's already starting to be good and not excellent. This is super basic, but if you are starting, this will help you out, right? And there's other options, right? You can see the spin tags and, a lot more configurations. So if you don't know what it is spin tags, let me show it to you. Imagine that you want to say hi John and you have 1,000 customers. You don't want to be saying hi John, hi Brandon, hi just Jose, whatever you want. You don't want to be sending 1,000 emails exactly like this with the exact same offer, with the exact same structure. You want to have spin tags. What spin tags does, it's create randomized options. So instead of saying only hi, you will say hello, hey, hi. And you can add as many as you want. You can put you can put greetings, whatever. And you can create dozens of spin tag versions. So you can also put in your call to action, hi, are you available to meet on Tuesday? Instead of this, to not send the same to all the prospects, you can say 2 days ago or 2 days from this date. So if today it's Monday, they will receive Wednesday because it's 2 days from Monday. So they will receive, are you available on Wednesday? And if it's Tuesday, they will receive, are you available on Thursday? I hope that this was that you understand this because it's a little bit complex for some people, but as you can see, it's super easy. And you also have a guide which goes super in detail explaining exactly how you can do this and best practices. To not make this video 2 hours long, I'm going to skip it, but as you saw, it's super recommended that you run spin tags. You also have the option to create templates, which pretty self-explanatory. You can just do it. You also have the option to preview how the email looks like in the prospect's inbox. I find this super interesting because previously to that, you needed to send it to your email, see how it works, how it looks, and just come back, edit it, etc. Now you can just see it here, and you can also see that it signals potential spam and risky words. So it's super perfect for you to see what you need to change. You can also send a test email anyway, and you can also see the analytics for each step. You will see here a breakdown on you start sending the emails of each variation that we created, the A, B, C different texts, and you will see which are the best one. And lastly, it's the use AI. So you can generate from scratch your emails. Don't recommend it. AI is still not there. You can rewrite current step, so you can say, make it more formal. And you can adjust the creative temperature as before, so it doesn't add random stuff, or you can add random stuff. And here you will see that it's improving a little bit the email. Anyways, I also don't recommend using this a lot. What I recommend is that you add spin tags to email using AI. So instead of learning all the AI configurations that I was talking about before, you can just click here and add spin tags to the email. You can place how many variations you want, and you can see how the number of spin tags you want to use, as well as the temperature again, so the copy doesn't change a lot. So I'm going to run this so you can see it. And here you have the variations applied without me needing to do anything. So instead of saying only, here's the information about your offer for your consideration, you can also see that you will be sending this a part of the first one. And you can run this as many times as you want with all the variations that you want. So you can put 10, 5, and you will see that it will generate tons of different spin taxes. So if you're sending thousands of emails, you get to see like tons of different variations. But be careful, because if you run this a lot, you will see that the copy doesn't make sense at the end of the day. And that's all for the part of the sequences, super important. And make sure to save everything, or otherwise it will not load. And if you make mistakes, it will not let you save it, of course. So I'm going to go to the next one, which is schedule. And you will see that you can basically associate the inboxes that you want this campaign to run on. So if you have 100 inboxes, but only 120 inboxes for this specific campaign, you can associate it here. You can also see the days that you will be able to send. I recommend sending on Saturday too. And in some cases, if you are going after 6 octave, you can also send on Sunday. And of course, the time zone. I recommend that you send from 8 a.m. approx up to 5 p.m., which is mainly work hours where people check the emails. There's more strategies that you can go here, but we will not talk on this video about this. And you can also pause on sending on public holidays and select which calendar you want to select. Anyways, I don't recommend putting this, as you will not, there's not many festive days in any country, so you can just send anyways. And you can also see the maximum emails per day that you want to send, as well as the maximum new leads that you want to reach out. So if you want to send more follow-ups rather than contacting new people, you can put this lower, but I recommend that you send to new people. So leave it like no limit. After you save the settings, you go to the settings page, which you will be seeing the same again. You have sending preference, so you can select more easier if you want 30 to 70%, like the ratio that you want, the follow-ups and the new emails to go out. So as I was saying, if you prefer to go all in on follow-ups and don't target new leads till the leads went through the complete sequence, you can place this. But I recommend that you put it on balanced or even in growth mode, which is 70% on new leads and 30% on follow-ups. And there's other configurations that you can study, but I don't want you to overthink these configurations, right? Because at the end of the day, what is important is that you start sending emails, and after that, you go and check for improvements. So one thing worth mentioning is the SSP matching. It's mainly to match the provider that you are sending to the one that is receiving. And I recommend that if you have Microsoft inboxes, don't enable this. But if you have Google, you can enable this. But make sure to have this setup, which I'm going to show you later, as it can give you problems otherwise. Opportunity value, if you want to see a little bit how many fictionary revenue you are creating with the system, you can create here and place the number of money that you make for each offer. And you have also other safety settings, which I recommend that you have the like exactly like this. Stop sending emails on reply, enable. So when a lead replies, there's no more emails going out to them. Continue sending out for out of office replies and automatic replies, turn it off, as when someone is out of office, they are probably going to be for a few weeks and you don't want to have repeated out of office reminders. Stop sending to same domain on replay. I recommend that you turn it off. What this does is if John from Google replies to me, I will not send more emails to Jonathan from the same company. And I don't really want this, because you can get a response from John and later John may drop out or he may not going to book the call. So you can have Jonathan as a second option. Open rate tracking, always turn off this. A lot of people still makes these mistakes. Don't put the open trade tracking enable always like this, because otherwise you include a link and it hurts the reputation. The same with unsubscribe link. If someone puts unsubscribe link, it hurts their reputation. What you want to do is if someone says, please don't send me anything else or unsubscribe, you go then and add them to a blacklist, which is mainly saying, don't send more emails to this address. Send as plain text. You can enable this if you want. If your campaign doesn't have any image or link, which shouldn't have, so you can put this so there's not going to be any HTML code in your copy and you will be able to inbox way better. Send to risky emails. This is completely optional. I recommend leaving it like this because what this does is sending only to emails that are verified and that you see that they are replying to other customers, but sometimes it fails. And auto-paste campaign on high bounce rate, I recommend having this enabled. So if you have more than 4 or 5% bounce rate on a campaign, it means that the data that you're using, it's trash. So you want to improve the data before you keep sending. Otherwise, your inboxes will land in spam. And all of this, you can just leave it like this, like turn off, and you don't need to even know what is it. It's just fallback sending for deleted if you remove accounts, etc. The next one, and we are near finished with this, it's the subsequences. Mainly, the subsequences are useful so you don't need to be writing all the follow-ups yourself. So what it does, it's create conditions. So after someone replies to your main sequence where you explain your offer, they may be interested, they may not be interested, and what you do is choose a condition, right? I recommend that you do it for the leads that base it on the lead labels. So each lead gets associated negative, negative reply, positive reply, whatever it is. So in all the cases, they get a custom subsequence that they get even if you are not there sending these emails. You can also have other options, but the main ones are the first one, lead labels, and the out of office automatic replies. So if someone does an automatic reply, what this does is check when they are coming back. So if it's in 2 weeks, and in 2 weeks, it will start to follow up again. But I'm going to show you the add leads based on the lead label. Here, we will create an example for the leads that are not interested in this case. And what it does is, if someone is marked as not interested, they will get this subsequence. So you can create it, and you see that it's the same overview as before. So not going to spend a lot of time here, but what you can do again, test everything, and remember that they receive this after they say they are not interested. So in this case, I recommend you saying, hi, John, with the personalization. Hi, first name. Sorry for my last message. I didn't want to disturb you. Have a great day. So what this does is, even if they send a bad reply, which you don't want to be checking manually, they will receive sorry for my last message. And this will be done 1 day after they send it. So it seems that you are human, you will spend time even if it's a negative reply, and it works wonders. Sometimes they even go on, okay, well, now I read your offer and you can explain more, right? You don't lose anything. It's automated. You set it up once, you set this up once, and you just leave it running. And for not interested, what I recommend is having 2 steps. So the first one is saying sorry, and the other one it's 30 days from now, or maybe a little bit less, like 20 days. You can go and check on how they are doing, if the situation should change, but always make sure that they are not in the blacklist. Okay, so if someone said, get out of my inbox, or they are super aggressive, they are mad at you, you shouldn't do this subsequence. But this is useful because if someone is interested, imagine that you have a tag that is interested but didn't book, right? They replied, hey, tell me more about your offer. But they did never book a call with you, so they didn't end up showing in a call. You can have a subsequence following up with them till they reply again or till they book a call. Super useful. And that's all for the campaigns. You also have the analytics part, which, as you can see, you have all the data that you may need. Again, I don't want you to overthink this. There's all the data as how many emails you sent, how many leads you contacted, how many positive reply rate you had. But I want you to focus only on the reply rate and positive reply rate. The other ones are a little bit tricky. Just make sure that the bounce rate is lower than 4, but you have the automation that we said. So if it's higher than this, it will stop automatic. So just check that you are getting replies and that you are sending the correct amount of emails every day. That's all. And again, you can check for each step and variation the analytics that you are getting. So after all of this, I'm going to go to the next step, which is the inbox. And this is interesting because you will see that it's all the inboxes that you have. If you have 100 inboxes, you will get tons of replies. And you don't want to be logging in each inbox every single time. What you want is to have them all in one place. And this is what this Unibox does. You will be able to see all the replies coming up here, and you will be able to reply to them here as all email interfaces, and you will not have any single loop on this. I don't have an example here as this is a test space, but it's just a simple email interface. You will see that there's a few options that are interesting as the labels, the campaigns, the emails, members. So if you have the filter on labels, you can only get the interested ones. So only the interested ones will show up here, and you will be able to follow up super easy and only spend time checking all of these. For example, if you want to see all the persons that book a meeting with you but didn't close, you can see here and follow up with them manually. So all of this can be done manually, but I will show you later how to do it with AI. And apart, you can select for the campaigns, you can filter for each campaign you have active. So you are, if you have two offers and you want to center in one, you can just get the replies that you are getting in the first one. And the same with the emails. If you want to see the exact replies that one inbox or a few are getting, you can select them. And the same with members. If you are a large organization and you have different users using this and you want only to see one part of the work, so what you are managing, you can also select here your user. And as all emails, you can schedule your emails. If you want to send a follow-up in a few weeks and you want to do it manually, you can stir opportunities that you want or you are more interested. But I recommend that you put the lead labels instead of just placing the star. And you can also achieve conversations that finish. So it's super good. And you also have the draft everywhere. There's also other options. You can compose an email like without having the recipient. And this is a game changer, right? So a lot of time you run campaigns and they will reply to you saying, hi, I'm not the one in charge of lead generation, but you can reach out to John, which is my colleague, and he will be able to explain it better. So in a lot of softwares, you need to have your own email solution, and you cannot write emails from your emails, like from the same inbox, to the custom recipient. So here you can do it, and you can also CC everyone that you need. So it's super game changer. And lastly, apart from this, you also have the AI automation, which is the part that I find more interesting about PlusVibe. And it's mainly that you can create replies based on AI. And a lot of email platforms are starting to integrate this, or you can even do it with Cloud Code, but it's not as good as PlusVibe. Why? Because you can add a lot of rules and different configurations. So, for example, I'm going to create the reply for interested campaigns, right? So we will see that the labels will be placed to interested. All the person that the AI detects as interested will go into this workflow. And I want only this for this campaign. So if you have several offers, you can have this AI bot replying different copies based on the offer that you're sending. Sender email account, you want to send it from the same one that received the response, and you want the response to be AI reply or manual. But for this case, it's AI. You can you can choose which email AI model you want to use, and you can place the prompt. Again, if you put a bad prompt here, this is going to be disastrous for your company. You will get not a single book meeting. But if you spend one time, setting up this in detail, you will see great results and you will save tons of time replying to every single question. So I recommend that you spend time with this and you go like, in the case that it starts with, I'm interested, send this. So if it says another thing, say this. So you give the AI different options for each situation that you know or think that will happen with your email. So if you know the sequence that you wrote, and it's always, can I send you a sales asset, like a sales magnet? You know that you need to send the sales magnet. So you can just say to the AI, please send this link, send this exact information to them, so you don't need to be always placing the same and writing and wasting time. In the case that it's interested and they ask for more information, you can also have this and say, if they ask for pricing, say, our pricing is custom, blah, 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 blah. So you can have all the situations and the AI will be able to solve all the customers' questions with detail. And you can also put, don't include the dashes, like this so it doesn't seem AI. You can also put like the type of writing that you want to do, formal, informal, professional, whatever, and it's a game changer. And you can even add the Calendly integration, which enables the AI to send directly the link. So it's also super useful because apart that you can put it here, you can place the link of your Calendly here, you can also do it directly with this. And it can also send available time slots, which instead of sending the normal link, they will directly say 2 hours, for example, 4 and 5 on Tuesday, and they can choose directly. Super good. And you have the option to prepare it as a draft or reply immediately or reply with delay. I recommend that when you are starting, you put it at prepare as draft, so you manually check that the AI is doing the job correctly. And if it does, if it does perfect, you can go to the automated ones. But if it doesn't, what you can do is adjust the prompt to not make the same mistakes. And after this, you click reply with delay. So you click here and put 7 minutes, 3 to 7 minutes. So after a reply received, they get automatically out in 7 minutes. Super perfect. And you can just save the changes. And you have here a custom prompt for each type of reply that you are going to get. This is a game changer. I promise that if you spend time with this, you will be seeing great results. Okay, we are starting to go to the last part of this video. There's also the part that you can check email placements. So this enables you to see if your emails are landing in spam. And I recommend that you have it set at automatic, okay? As this is a test trial account, I don't have it, but you can do it with one of tests. So what it does, it's check that your inboxes are not being flagged by providers. You will see that you can send, for example, 50 emails per provider. You can, if you have the plan, sorry, you can customize everything and you will be able to see, okay, better only send to Google because I'm just trying to inbox with Google customers, or I want to check both to see if I'm inboxing. Or if you are sending to local businesses, maybe you want to have the personal Gmail because it's what most of your customers have. So you want to see if you're inboxing there. So then you click next, you have all this configuration, and you select ones that you want this test to go on. So I recommend that you select a few random ones so you are always seeing that all the domains are getting the right in the right inbox and not in spam. Leave a sending interval of 5 minutes, always send as plain text, to not include HTML, and you can place here the same email content that you're sending in your campaigns to make sure that you are not landing in the spam folder. I don't want to go into a lot of details into the email placement as it's not a requirement to start. It's just if you are doing a mass scale campaign and you want to check every single day that you are not getting spam triggered, you can check it here. As you can also see if you're going to promotions. And lastly, there's the webhooks and integrations aspect, which webhooks you can, for example, connect it to your Slack channel, and you can place that your SDRs are always receiving notification when a specific lead enters. So maybe you don't want to know when a not interested reply comes, but if there's someone super interested, you want this to trigger a webhook, like a message in Slack saying, call this person as soon as possible. Or even more ideas, you can have Zapier make or any automation like N8N put when an interested reply comes, send a message to Slack, scrape it with Clay, and get the phone number so we can call it in 5 minutes. There's infinite things that you can do, and we will talk more in detail about this in more videos. And you can also join the free community that we have in the first link in the description so you can know and learn about this stuff. But first of all, start simple and you will be seeing this later. Apart from the webhooks, that's the integrations which you can directly integrate with AI, Zapier Make, High Level, Calendly, and others. And apart from this, you can also see the reply levels. You can add more labels like customize it, for example, sales magnet, put the reply, you can AI level detection, you can explain to the AI exactly how you want them to detect all of this so they have all the information. And if you spend time with this, you will see that you're getting way better results than with other email sequencers. Lastly, there's the deliverability settings, which I recommend that you have it set like default unless you are using Microsoft Azure tenants. In that case, I recommend that you're only sending Microsoft to Microsoft, or you don't have the SAP matching enabled, because otherwise you will land in spam. So, summarizing, it has been a deep overview on how you can set up these PlusVibe accounts. You may have questions. So, again, if you join the community, I will be able to help you completely for free on how to do this. And if you don't want to learn all of this stuff, there's also the option that I do it completely for you with no setup fees, no retainers, on a complete pay per result basis. So it's mainly that you pay $300, $350, sorry, per qualified appointment that you get in your calendar, which means that no shows are not billed and that they need to be within your ICP list, which is a game changer. You don't need to be wasting any time and you're getting opportunities and you only pay for those. If this was interesting, leave a like, subscribe, as I will be posting more videos with exact integrations that you can use, automations, even the custom prompts that you can copy to make sure you're maximizing the use of your PlusVibe account.